Hi. This is definitely going on my second channel if it's going up anywhere at all. I want to play this. I just finished the Grunkle dating sim. Awesome sauce. Okay. Let's fucking go. Consideration of the game contains copyrighted music for sound testing purposes. If you're going to stream it, please turn the music off in the preferences menu. Yes. I will turn the music off. Also, quick user survey. Would you ever date a man 5'8" or shorter? Sure, why not? Thank you for your participation. Enjoy the game. Backroads, Oregon, 10 p.m. It's a foggy night's drive in the rain, but you're in a good mood. Creedence Clearwater's It Came Out of the Sky blares on the radio. Well, I don't know the lyrics to this. Sky, huh? Change the radio channel? You turn the radio to a different channel. What the? Oh my god, I love these photos. Your radio is blasting static at full volume. Stop, stupid thing! You try to turn the radio off, but the sound continues. Your warning lights start to flicker intensely. Your headlights and interior lights blast on and off. What's going on? You slam the brakes of your car in fear. Screech. Your car comes to a halt. You turn it off and everything goes quiet. Okay. Maybe just turn it back on. You attempt to turn your car back on. The car does not turn back on. Great. Main Rose isn't too far from here. I want to stay in my car. You decide to try and hunker down, wait till morning in your car. The temperature outside isn't too rough, and at least here you're safe from the rain. You lean in the seat back and start to close your eyes. You're woken by the sound of something. You sit up to take a glance outside. You see something too tall to be human, but too human-shaped to be anything else. It darts off into the woods. I don't really want to stay here anymore. I'm gonna make a run for the road and see if I can flag someone down. After some amount of running, jogging, and speed walking, you reach the main road, soaked and tired. Of course it starts raining harder the moment I step out of the car. You walk a bit more before you spy some headlights in the distance. You try to make yourself more visible. The car flashes its lights at you before slowly pulling over. Yeah, that's what it said. The car window rolls down, and you're greeted by the sight of a very jovial-looking man.
Greetings!
Yippee! Hi! There he is! Greetings? Excuse me, you look like you're having some trouble there. It's certainly not the best weather for a nighttime stroll. Can I give you a ride? Something about his demeanor feels off. What if this guy is excited to have found you here? Examine. The car is a gremlin. It's a little hard to see, but the man appears to be riding alone. He looks to be in a good mood. There's an odd blue light dangling from his rearview mirror, and his dashboard indicates the time is now 11:10. Is I really walking for an hour? It doesn't feel right. Where are you headed? I'm on my way to a small town a ways north of here called Gravity Falls. I could take you along with me if you needed. You don't remember seeing a Gravity Falls on your map. You know, I don't recall seeing any Gravity Falls on my map. Your statement seems to shock him. Oh, well, it's a bit of an out there sort of place. Ah, I've got it. He turns the interior lights of his car on and opens his glove compartment and pulls something out. Here! He holds up a postcard. It's a little hard to see, but you can make out Gravity Falls in large font. Not much else. I apologize for not handing this to you, but I don't want to get it out in the rain. I can put it in the back seat for you if you'd like. Right. The rain. The rain that I am currently standing in. His car seems more inviting every second you spend out here. Examine his car. You catch a better glimpse of the interior of his car with the lights on. He's definitely alone, and that blue light you saw earlier appears to be a small keychain in the shape of a UFO. The car looks well taken care of. No thanks. I'm sorry to waste your time, but I think I'm just going to continue walking. Man lets out what appears to be a very sincere frown. You sure? I don't mean to be insistent, but... He looks a bit nervous. His gaze wanders over to his dashboard clock, and he seamlessly looks past you back into the woods. Well, you might not want to continue walking along the road at night like this, especially with how the weather is now. You start to get a terrible feeling radiating from behind you. You think back to that thing you saw out by your car. Yikes. You find yourself wondering if maybe you have a better chance with this guy than with whatever is going on around here. I think I'll take my chances. Thank you for your offer. Well, I can't force you. Stay safe out there. Rolls up his window and drives off into the night. You continue to wander the road, rain soaking you to your core, wondering if you made the right choice. You did not, in fact, make the right choice. Awesome. Accept his offer. I think I'll take you up on your offer. Thanks. I'm sorry. It's such a silly face. Oh great, just one moment. I forgot to read that. He opens the door and steps out of his car into the rain. He's wearing a tan trench coat with a simple shirt and tie underneath. It's raining buckets now, but he's in good spirits despite the drops pelting him. He holds the door for you and gestures to the car, smiling. Come in. Feel free to make yourself comfortable. But I ask that you please sit in the back. I've got quite a few of my belongings in the passenger seat. As you climb in, you notice papers strewn about, maps with locations circled and crossed off, a large red book, and what appears to be an active tape recorder? That feels worrisome. Too little too late now. I'm gonna try and forget what I saw that and just be happy I got out of the rain. You see the postcard for Gravity Falls placed in the back seat. You thought it was the rain and lack of light before, but the card really does only say Gravity Falls on it and nothing else. Front or back. It says nothing to see here. Your new friend hops back into the car and starts it up. Oh, I love this perspective. Interior car, 11:20 p.m. Let's ask about him. So what are you doing driving around this late? Huh? He seems taken aback that you chose to speak to him, recovers. I was just heading home after doing some field work. I'm a researcher. Oh? What do you research? His eyes seemed to light up for a moment, but in a flash they're back to how they were. Oh, you know, local flora and fauna. Very standard research subjects. It's not really that interesting to an outsider. I'm interested. Well, I'm interested. It's also classified, I'm afraid. Uninteresting, but also classified? You're more interested than you were before, but you decide not to press him further right now. Old-timey AC. You both sit in silence for a moment before he looks at you. So, what had you wandering the road this time of night? Car troubles? You wonder whether or not to tell him the whole truth about your car. Uh, hmm. I, I ran out of gas. There's no need to tell him. Yeah, kinda. I just took some wrong turns, ran out of gas. I was hoping I'd come across a station, but no one ever came. You worry he's gonna pick apart your story. After all, you take backwards forest roads to look for a gas station. I see. Or maybe he doesn't care. Well, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sure you're going to want to talk to someone at a gas station. Yeah, is there one in Gravity Falls? There is. Oh, that's a relief. You won't be able to speak to anyone there, though. Feel your heart sink into your gut. A feeling you didn't even know it was possible. And why is that? I'm afraid they're all on vacation. It'll be a week before it's open again. A week? I feel like you might start crying in this stranger's car. Are there any motels in this town? There is a motel, and a cheap one at that. You start to feel a little better. Maybe there's a glimmer of hope for you after all. You won't be able to get a hold of the staff there either. The man looks back at you in the mirror, your mouth hanging open. I apologize, but, well, they're on vacation too. Is the whole town on vacation? Yes, actually, you had the misfortune to arrive here right at the start of ditch your job for a week. He's making that up. That can't be real. You're just messing with me, aren't you? He laughs and points to the right side of the front window shield. See for yourself. Give productivity the axe. Starting now. Yeah, right now. That's such a good drawing. Outside, you see a flash of a billboard with a large cartoon lumberjack in novelty sunglasses. He's tossing away his axe with one hand and holding a blue drink in the other. It reads, "Ditch your job for a week. Give productivity the axe." You moan and put your head in your hands. He looks back at you. You know, if you need a place to stay, I can offer you a room in my cabin. It may be a little dusty, but I do have a spare. You look up at him. I'm not so sure. This guy, he cheerfully plucks me off the road and coasts me into his car, and then carts me off to an abandoned town in the middle of nowhere. Should I really let him take me back to his house? I mean, what if you're a murderer or something? I didn't need to say that first part out loud. Oops. He looks like he's thinking. Look down on the floor seat next to you. There's a severed hand or something down there and opening the car door and jumping. You look down hesitantly. There's an aerosol can rolling around. You pick it up to get a closer look. Bear string! It's labelled bear string. The label also has a drawing of the silhouette of a man who looks suspiciously like a driver. He's spraying the bear with silly string. The bear is crying. What is this? Are you familiar with the concept of capsicum dog repellent? I don't know how to say that.
Capsaicin.
No, I'm not. It's mainly carried by postal workers. It's an aerosol spray that uses
Capsaicin.
an extract from peppers to cause irritation to dogs in order to ward off attacks. This bear string is like that, except with a lot more capsicum. So, what about the string part? Don't tell me it's silly string. That would be named for the silly string component, yes. It makes for an excellent mechanism for propelling the substance over a long distance. Not to mention the whimsy it brings when you spray it. It's very useful for fending off all sorts of wildlife, as well as unruly humans, if the need should arise. You look up at him. If it will help you feel safer, you can keep my bear string on your person for as long as you're with me. Though please don't spray me with it unless you truly feel you must. Acquired bear string! The label? Unruly humans. The label. Is this drawing on here of you? So you've noticed. Why would you put this on it? He lets out a small laugh and looks back at you. Well, it is my spray, after all. You made this? I sure did. And I guess part of me just couldn't bear to have anyone else see the face the way he looked. Oh, that's so adorable. You groan, but a laugh slips out. You can still only see his eyes, but you know the smile on him is incredibly triumphant. Well, thank you, really. Glad I could put your mind at ease. So, what do you say to staying in my cabin now? It's, very kind of you. I'll try not to take too long to sort myself out. By all means. Things go silent for a bit before he starts again. So, now that we're going to be temporary housemates, why don't you tell me about yourself? How about your name to start? Oh, and could you spell it out for me? It helps with committing it to memory. Spell it out for him? Does that really aid memorization like that? You remember the tape recorder he's running in his front seat. Well, I'm going to his house now. Really hurt to give him my name. My name is I-S-A-C-C. It's pronounced Isaac. It is spelt I-S-A-C-C. Isaac. Is that correct? Yes. Yep, you got it. Isaac. He smiles. Now tell me, Isaac, what were you doing driving around here this late at night? Your silence causes him to look back at you. I'd rather not talk about it. Are you sure? There's no one better to get something off your chest to than a stranger. It's like all the benefits of keeping a journal, but with the added bonus of human interaction. And possible judgment. I'm sure. Alright then. You can hear the disappointment in his voice loud and clear. How about this? Have you ever hitchhiked before that you can remember? No. I haven't. Interesting. And was finding your way to the main road from your car difficult? I shouldn't tell him about that thing I saw. I think I'm nuts. It might not hurt him to tell the other thing. Or would it? Well, no, but... It took a long time. Somehow it took longer than it felt like it did. I was surprised to see your clock say 11:10. He sits up in his seat a little. Could you elaborate on that? Well, when my car stopped working, it was only 10 p.m. and I figured the main road was only about a 10-minute walk from where I was. It only felt like one too. I see. That must have felt very unusual. There's an unmistakable sound of excitement in his voice. Was the weather any different from how it is now? The weather? I didn't think it was weird before, but now that I think about it... Well, it wasn't raining as hard when I was driving, but it was pouring when I got out the car. He seems lost in thought. That's not too unusual for rain, though, right? Oh, sure. You ride in silence till you catch sight of his cabin. The headlights shine dimly, bouncing off the fog. You get a better look as the car approaches closer. Wow! Oh, I love these photos. Awesome. Wow, that's a pretty sizable cabin. He really lives here by himself? Your driver puts the car in park and looks back at you in the mirror one last time. He takes a deep breath and starts to turn, slowly, to look back at you from his seat. Oh no, is this the part where I get axe murdered? You clutch your bear string tightly. He jolts the rest of the way back to look at you over his shoulder. Ha! You're still here. What? Sorry. Got me. The man fumbles around in his passenger seat for something. You hear the distinct sound of pages turning. Ah. Well, I'm going to get out of the car and let you out now. Stay there. Where else would I go? Wow, this interior is so cute. You get out of the car. He gives his back to you for a few seconds. It looks like he's looking through something. Wow, I'm sorry. He turns back around. He seems to be holding that big book from the passenger seat. Still here. Is something wrong? Well, yes, sort of. He flips quickly and efficiently through his book. Mama. Sorry. Okay. By all accounts, you were supposed to have vanished at the end of the ride. But I'm supposed to what? Could have been that my research was off? Hey, pal, what gives? Oh, pardon me. Have you perchance heard the urban legends about vanishing hitchhikers? No, I haven't. You see, there are many tales related by travellers, cab drivers, occasional pizza delivery man, revolving around the picking up of a hitchhiker in unfavourable weather conditions in the dead of night. The trip will start out normal enough, some pleasant small talk is usually exchanged, but at the end of the ride, the passenger is found to have mysteriously disappeared. Has some accounts of deities and oracles being picked up and bestowing good fortune or prophesying a terrible fate for the driver. Oh, he's such a nerd. But usually the passenger just turns out to have been some random freeloading ghost. At any rate, I may have picked you up working under the assumption that you were one. Why would you think that? Why would you think that? I'm sorry, it's just... He flips diligently through his book. You look so close to this description from eyewitness accounts in the area. He gingerly holds up a drawing of something that looks kinda like you, but way uglier. I don't look like that. You kind of look like that. Surely you have to admit there's a similarity? Is that a word? I can't believe I even got in your car, let alone agreed to stay at your house. Wait. Were you even actually planning on letting me stay in your house? Well... No. Again, I thought you'd be gone by the time I got home. You feel like you've been dealt a devastating blow. What am I supposed to do? This didn't help. The self's starting to tear up. He looks a little remorseful. That was such a cute... Hold on, I want to look at that sprite. It's such a cute sprite. Look at it. Look, I may have made my offer under the pretense of you being a spirit, but I'm a man of my word. You need a place to stay, and I'm going to give you one. Though I would request that you return my bear string. You clutch the bear string? Definitely not getting this back now. Well, it's pointless to stand outside in the rain any longer. Come inside. You follow him inside his cabin. This fucking interior is so adorable. The room you enter astounds you. You find yourself surrounded by curios ranging from relics that look like they belong in a museum to grotesque displays of warped, fantastical creatures, and jars and collections of their body parts. For my own peace of mind, I want to assume these all came from animals. There are strange machines, some computer-like in nature, and some unidentifiable to you, none of which seem befitting of a residential environment. This guy is really something. What is all this? I start to feel overwhelmed by the sheer amount of strange things to investigate. While your eyes dart around the room, something in particular catches your eye. A fire extinguisher. Yes, well, fire safety is important. I forgot he was here. Especially when your entire house is made of wood. Right. House. You're in somebody's house. You try to recompose yourself a little. I'm a little worried about leaving my car out there. Could I make a call for a tow truck with your phone? I'm sorry to add further grievances to your night, but, well, knowing him, your car's almost certainly been eaten by Steve by now. Steve? Before I address that question, I think it would be best that I introduce myself. You're an axe murderer. I'm not an axe murderer. My name is Stanford Pines. I'm a researcher here in Gravity Falls, studying the town's anomalies. Anomalies? Yes, this town is a hotbed for the strange and unusual. Like vanishing hitchhikers, for example. Exactly. A guy's named Steve, who eat cars. I wouldn't necessarily describe him as a guy, but yes. I've been here for nearly 4 years now, working to document anything and everything I can find. What you see before you is but a fraction of the results of this work. He's not even from here? This is all stuff he's found? Sounds cool. You look around your environment once more with a curious new appreciation. Does he really expect me to believe this stuff is real? I don't know. I've got a hard time believing that, but, well, that sounds pretty cool. Stanford perks up with this. I'm sorry. I really love this sprite. His fingers. Yippee! Whoa, that's the dancing furry fish thing. Oh, it's been more than just pretty cool. It's been astounding. I am sure you may still be hesitant to accept what I say as truth, but wait here. I'm going to show you something you won't believe. Stanford disappears further into his cabin. You hear the sound of a cage rattling. He's there. You can come out now. Does he have some kind of pet back there? I've got someone here who would like to see you. The rattling intensifies. Oh, so you've learned how to spell, have you? Oh, S-E-E. Fuck. Am I going to have to start saying the third letter of the alphabet instead from now on? What? You hear the cage open. From the other room, Stanford calls out to you. Now, you may be shocked at what you're about to third letter of the alphabet. But I ask that you remain calm. The specimen is friendly, but prone to overexcitement. Stanford's footsteps approach. Wow! Cecilia Guy! Whoa! Pretty neat, isn't it? It's insane. I've never seen anything like this. Yeah. You look over the thing in his hands. The thing in his hands looks over you. Where did you even find something like this? Stanford secures the creature to his hip with his arm and starts to flip through this book. They reside in quite a few different caves around Gravity Falls. I came across them while exploring, or should I say, I came across one. Then a whole mess of them proceeded to swarm me, and when I had when I held my torch up for a closer look. A torch? You were exploring a cave with just a torch. No flashlight, or... I have a lantern, but it wasn't working that day. Somehow I think he just thought it'd feel cool to use a torch. So what is the little guy called? Ah, this is Iris. This is Iris. Though I call the species in general eye bats. Oh, I get it. Because it's an eyeball with bat wings. Exactly. So, how does it breathe? How does the eye bat breathe? Well, their eyes, or rather eye, is able to take in oxygen through the air directly via the cornea. This is true of human and other species of eyeballs too, of course. For us, the oxygen supplied by this method could never be enough for our bodies to survive on. But when your whole body is an eyeball, it's not so hard. So, when they close their eyes, they stop breathing? Wait, do our eyeballs stop breathing when we sleep? Not all eye bats are capable of closing their eyes in the first place, but of those that do, yes, they do stop breathing. Thankfully, they have excellent oxygen storage capabilities, meaning they won't just drop dead the moment they decide to close their lids. And if you're wondering how they sleep, the answer is with one eye open, which in their case is all of them. I see. Well, thank you for answering my question. Note to self, ask Doctor how our eyeballs breathe when we sleep at next visit. You look down at the eye bat. It blinks at you. Oh, look at that! I think it's taking a liking to you. Or hating. They can't do much. It can be kind of difficult to tell how they're feeling. Either way, there's nothing to worry about with the species. After all, it's not like they can blink you to death. You blink at the eye bat. Suddenly the eye bat jerks its wings in and out, propelling itself into the air. Ah, damn thing! It flies hectically around the room, knocking over anything that looks old or fragile in its path. It bumbles its way down a staircase. Springing into action, Stanford launches himself over a chair and retrieves his coat. I'm sorry. I need to quit. He puts it on with a dramatic flourish. He hastily opens it. I'm sorry, I'm still, I can't get over this image. I can't get over him. I love him so much. Wow. He hastily opens a nearby drawer and pulls out butterfly nets? These are a little crude, but in my experience, I've found they're the best way to catch them. He throws one at you. Ah! You reflexively hold up your hands, which the net slaps against. It falls to the floor with a clatter. You quickly reach down to pick it up. Quickly, follow me, and shut the door behind you. He runs down the stairs. Follow him? What happens if I choose no? You stay remaining where you are, confused about what on earth is going on. Stanford shouts at you from downstairs. What, are you glued to the floor up there? I understand you're my house guest, but I could really use your help down here. Ugh. You hustle down the stairs after Stanford. You run down several flights of winding stairs after an unrelenting Stanford. I really must install an elevator one of these days. Why do you even have this many subterranean floors? Wow! 12 a.m. Finally, you find yourself in a dimly lit room full of technology and equipment, the likes of which you've never seen before. There are cages littered about. Some placed cautiously out of reach, and some not. How? What is all this? Ford looks excited. My lab! This is where I do the bulk of my work. It's a very useful place for containing and studying all the anomalies I am able to capture. Ford's smile fades. Though if we don't catch that eye bat soon, I worry that what will and won't stay contained. The flashing lights are going to be very disorienting to it. We have to try and corner it before it... shuts off the lights. All the lights in the lab have shut off. You can hardly see your hand in front of your face. You hear what sounds like the noise that might happen when a man in a trench coat determinedly puts his hands on his hips. Well, now that time constraint is off our shoulders, we can formulate a plan. I have my own ideas for how to go about catching the eye bat, but I'm curious, what are you thinking right now? Build a trap? Maybe we could lure it into a trap somehow? A trap, yes! Precisely what I was thinking! You know what sounds like him rubbing an ever so slightly stumbling chin and pacing back and forth? But what to build our trap with? We're limited to what we can find down here. He snaps his fingers. Alright, I know what we need. We'll want to find something to contain the eye bat in. A long and preferably thin object, something we can tie to it, and bait. Wait, he's not seriously thinking about it. A Looney Tunes trap? A Looney Tunes box and stick style trap? Well, what do you think? I'm gonna be honest. It sounds good. Sounds good. That sounds like a good plan. I don't know about all this, but he's the expert, I guess. Let's just see where this goes. Excellent. Great minds do think alike, after all. Now all that's left is to venture out and gather up our parts. Unfortunately, this is the one time I happened to leave my flashlight in my other coat. So unless you've got something on you, we'll have to navigate our way around in the dark. Sorry, I don't have anything. I figured as much. Don't worry, I wouldn't be much of a scientist if I didn't know the layout of my own lab. Hold on. I'm really hungry and it's 5:30, so I might have to stop playing this soon. The ways after the room we are currently in are north and east. Oh, and if you feel like anything that seems like it could be a cage, do not open it. You find yourself in the first room of Stanford's lab. What do you do? Look around. You can't see. You'll have to feel your way around. You find yourself in the first room of Stanford's. Okay. I'm very hungry. So I'm gonna go eat dinner and then I'll come back to this. I'm back. We just watched Tale of Two Stands, me and my mum. She watched it for the first time. I watched it for the second time. And it's still a really good episode. Okay. We're back. We're right in. You find yourself in the first room of Stanford's lab. What will you do? Let's feel around. You feel around in the dark cautiously. Your hand brushes up against something hot. Ah! What is it? Did something bite you? No, I just touched something hot. My apologies. I do have plenty of caution signs up, but they're not very effective in the dark. Does Sky really get the point of caution signs? It didn't burn you, did it? Not sure. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. Let me have a look. You extend your hand into pitch blackness. You feel a hand lightly take yours, using only a few fingers. Let's see. You can practice the hero's realization. You let go of your hand. Well, that was a waste of time, wasn't it? What will you do? Talk Stanford. So, how are we going to be able to find the eye bat in the dark. Their eyes emit a yellow glow. She'll be visible no matter where she tries to hide. I know you said they can close their eyes earlier, and they can hold their breath for a while. Couldn't it just do that to hide from us? How long can they hold their breath? Well, theoretically, they can hold their breath for about 20 minutes, but it won't come to that. You may have surmised this already, considering I informed you that not all eye bats can close their eyes in the first place, but blinking is largely unnecessary for them. It only really helps them produce extra tears. If they keep their lids closed too long, they'll become a practical waterfall. I see. You all have sworn someone cut an onion in front of them. Also, I had a question I wanted to ask earlier. If one was sleepwalking, would you be able to tell? I've never really thought about it. I'll have to look into that sometime. Let's go east. You venture east to the next room. Find yourself in the second room of Stanford's lab. Okay, hold on. This is a perfect book for this. I don't know, I'm rushing around my room for this. I've got to get... I've got to get a good map of this area down. Don't mind these. Room 1. And then east. So facing this way. East. East. Forward. Hold on. East. So this way would be 2. Okay. I'm actually glad you can't see this area. It's the first space I set aside for storing artifacts and specimens I'd found, all filed in alphabetical order. Alphabetical order? What was I thinking? But enough on that. The exits for this area are west and east. What will you do? Feel around. You feel around in the dark cautiously. Your hand brushes up against something. Ah! What is it? Oh, I think this is just a cardboard box. You pick up the cardboard box. Be careful with that. That's no cardboard box. Gah! You drop the cardboard box. What was that thing? A fearsome and dangerous creature known as an ordinary cardboard box. I'm sorry. I just can't help myself. Next time you do that, I'm throwing whatever's in my hands at you. You pick up what is most certainly just a cardboard box. Think we can use this? Hand it to me a moment. You wave the cardboard box around in the dark till you feel Stanford grab it. You hear the sound of cardboard flapping around as Stanford rotates the cardboard box a couple of times. Yes, I believe this is large enough to contain her. Excellent work, Isaac. What will you do? Talk Stanford. What's so bad about alphabetical order? Aside from the fact that it's not very useful scientifically to sort them that way, many of the anomalies here in Gravity Falls are lacking names aside from the ones I've bestowed upon them. And sometimes these names end up requiring revisions. So anytime you think of a better name, you have to come down here and move stuff around. Precisely. He sounds a little tired. Aww. Let's go east. You venture east to the next room. Oh, this area is light enough to us to see. Okay, this is this room. Room. That looks like an N. Light. That does not look like it says light at all. It looks like it says bigger. Oh, this area has enough light for us to see. I forgot he exists. An old college friend of mine liked to say that the glow of technology is akin to sun on a rainy day. While I'm not sure I agree with the sentiment, I've found myself putting more superfluous diodes on things lately. That's nice. It's kind of nice. I love this one. Stanford smiles gently at you. I suppose it is, isn't it? It's certainly helped us here, at any rate. The exits for this area are west... Oh, wait, you can see. Well, I'll tell you anyway. The exits for this room are west and north. Thanks. Aside from all the flashing electronics, there's not much in this room. In the corner is a metal cage. Yeesh. We finally get a room where I can see, and all there is to show for it is an empty cage. Well, I've got good news for you. That cage isn't empty. It's housing an invisible anomaly. Invisible, huh? Go ahead, tap the top of it. He'll make his presence known to you. You tap the top of the cage. Nothing happens. Well, that isn't good. Is he being serious? So, college, huh? What did you go to college for? I found myself specializing the bulk of my coursework in biology and physics, but really I just took as many science-based courses as the university was willing to offer. And then some. Does all this count as biology? Of course. All of these anomalies are as much living things as you or I. There's a great sense of determination in his voice. Well, except for the undead ones. There's undead ones? Like zombies? Ah, and non-living entities enchanted by magic, of course. Although I have my own theories on that. He didn't hear me. So west would be back. Let's go north. You walk north into the next room. Hey, it looks like there's a light coming from the room west of this one. I see. Yes, about the color the eye bats radiate. I think we found our man. Thankfully, she's cornered herself. The only way out of that room is back through this one. Once we've got everything ready, we'll set up our trap here. Sounds like a plan. That's because it is one. I can see the exits myself here. The west room is occupied by the eye bat, so it looks like north and south are the only directions to go. Let's go north. You venture north into the next room. Oh, this is room 5. You find yourself in the 6th room of Stanford's lab. 6th? Room 6. Question mark. Wait a minute. Why am I the one always feeling around in the dark? This is your lab. Oh, you'd like me to do it? I thought you were just especially curious. One moment. You presume Stanford is feeling around. Not sure what this is, actually. I don't think it's something I've ever felt in my lab before. That's me. Oh. My apologies. The exits to this room are south and west. I think I'll just keep doing the feeling from now on. What will you do? Talk Stanford. West, huh? Okay, so that would be that way. So, yes. Walking in a circle. You venture west to the next room. You find yourself in the 7th room of Stanford's lab. There's a rather loud whirring noise echoing around the room. Whatever you've got in here, it sounds like it's overheating. Actually, that noise would be my heater. It's just doing its job. Oh. Keep up the good work, heater. Keep up the good work, heater. Thanks. Gah! You jump a few feet back, bumping into what you hope is Stanford. He steadies you. So you actually got him to chat with you. I got who to chat with me? That's my will-o-won't-a-wisp. Your will-o-won't-a-wisp. A standard will-o-wisp won't do much aside from float and occasionally give off light, but a will-o'-won't-a-wisp may speak and even occasionally perform tasks, though I'd say they only do so about 30% of the time. Hence will-o'-won't. You sense a tinge of frustration in his voice. Some days it's very cold working down here. But anyway, the exits to this room are east and northwest. Feel around. You feel around in the dark. Your hand brushes against something that feels like rope? Do you keep rope lying around? Ah, it may very well be. I kept some from the last time the gnomes kidnapped me. I wanted to investigate if gnome rope had any special qualities compared to human rope. What? Yes, I know. It was quite the waste of time. Turns out they just steal rope out of people's garages and various hardware stores. They kidnap people? You want to ask him more about this, but can't get the words out. I'd recommend feeling your way up to both ends, as opposed to just pulling on it. It may be attached to a cage door. You know, as a safety precaution. You wonder how safe that could truly be as you shuffle around the floor. Thankfully, the rope isn't attached to anything. Less thankfully, the floor is kind of dirty. You pick up the rope. You hand the rope to Stanford. Here. It's kind of dirty. But it will do nicely. Good job, Isaac. Thanks. Talk Stanford. So about this will-o'-won't-a-wisp, ask it about itself. He's sentient? Does he have a name? I've tried to ask a few times, but he won't tell me. He responds to Hito often enough though, so I stopped trying my luck. Hito, what's her name? My name is Will. I guess that makes sense. That's almost disappointing in a way. Should I say something else? Yes. Well, do you like helping Stanford? You may be imagining it, but you think you hear what sounds like Stanford tensing up a little. He does not answer. Stanford sounds like he's relaxed a little. I don't think he'd be doing things I ask if he didn't care to. Can I try something different? Yes. Well, tell me something about Stanford. I foresee a tumultuous future for him if he does not change his path. That isn't really what I expected him to say. Well, keep in mind, Isaac, that he is not all-knowing. He is not all-knowing, as far as I know. A sense of unease hangs in the air. Well, thank you, Will. What will you do? Okay. Fucking northwest, are you kidding me? Northwest, that would be northwest. Would that be down here, actually? Because this is north. Yes. So northwest would be down here. So let's go northwest. You venture northwest into the next room. Find yourself in the 9th room of Stanford's lab. You missed the 8th one. The exits for this area are south, southeast, and east. South, southeast, and east. Aha. Let's feel around. You feel around in the dark cautiously. You feel absolutely nothing of interest. Stanford breathes a sigh of relief. Did you just breathe a sigh of relief? No. What will you do? Talk Stanford. What, you don't have anything to say about this room? Nope. Question him. You had something to say about all the other rooms. Sometimes a room is just unremarkable. And some unremarkable things require no further investigation. Fuck, I've forgotten. Let's go south. Venture south into the next room. Oh, this area has enough light for us to see. Ah, that would be due to the light in that fish tank over there. Fish tank? Fish tank. Just a fish tank? Just a fish tank. There aren't any anomalies inside? There's nothing anomalous about the contents of the fish tank. I'm sorry. Look around. Bathed in blue light, you see a magazine on the floor. A magazine? I wonder what kind of magazines this guy reads. Hold on. Fish tank. A magazine? I wonder what kind of magazines this guy reads. Unpopular Science, maybe? You pick up the magazine. Sensible eyewear for the active 30-something magazine. Huh. What you reading there? Gah! Everybody can see me! You hastily closed the magazine as if you had something to hide. If there was an unusual article about woodpeckers in there, I assure you that is the town's fascination, not mine. What? Stanford ignores your question, but a look of delight washes over his face as he sees the magazine cover. Oh, that's brilliant, Isaac. That will work perfectly. Wait. Brilliant? Do I know what he's talking about? Yes. He's definitely saying this is one of the things for our trap, I think. A container along with an object, something to tie it to it, and the last thing. I'm pretty sure it was one word. It was bait. I can spell. You really think this will make good bait? Oh, I know, sir. I accidentally hid that magazine down here because anytime she caught me reading it upstairs, she would attempt to rub herself all over it. Gee, guess she likes the hunky frames, huh? Thankfully, she prefers the feminine ones, actually. He shifts his glasses around a little uncomfortably. So, can we just flip to a page with women's glasses and leave it out for her? Exactly. It should distract her just long enough for us to do what needs to be done. You acquire the magazine. So, what was that about woodpeckers? I'll tell you about that later. So is there a reason you have a fish tank? He looks a little embarrassed. Well, you see, there is a lake on the outskirts of town, and on one of my first investigations of it, I found something unusual. He leads you over to the tank and gestures at its sole inhabitant. An axolotl. An axolotl? Wow! Hi, Protophrylium. Knowing axolotls do not live anywhere near Oregon, and eager to find something, I excitedly took it home to study and document. But after buying a whole fish tank and a year's supply of brine shrimp, I had come to find nothing. Oh. I've desperately tried to uncover anything anomalous, but the weirdest thing about this axolotl is how standard it is. The way I figure it, someone dumped their exotic pet into the lake. Well, he seems happy in there, at least. I suppose he does. Okay. North. That'll be down. So east would be that way. Did I just miss something? Hold on, east. You enter east into the next room. Find yourself in the 12th room of Stanford's lab? This does not make any sense. I have been puzzling out a few experiments in here. I ask that you exercise caution as you move around. Based on the smell alone, I can tell nothing's been knocked over yet, and I'd like to keep it that way. Ask about smell? The smell? Oh, yes. Some of the supplies I've been working with in here are quite pungent. They'll work wonders for a stuffy nose, but for right now, it would be best to keep everything in their bottles. Is there anything dangerous in here I might touch? Oh, just some acids. Acids? And a few bases. Bases? But so long as you move carefully, you'll be alright. Stanford's voice grows quieter. Really should get that safety shower installed. Did you just say something? Just a note to myself, don't mind me. By the way, the exits in this room are south and west. What will you do? Feel around. You feel around in the dark extra cautiously. With the tips of your fingers, you feel something fuzzy. Did you find something? What is it? I don't know, it feels fluffy? You put your hand on it once again, you feel the faint crackling of static electricity and see some small sparks. Huh? I see. Please remove your hand and step back a moment, slowly, and let me know when you've done so. He sounds pretty serious. Oh, sure. You remove your hand. Removed. Stanford feels out where you are, placing a light touch on your back. He steps ahead of you as you move behind. I'd suggest retaining a little more distance. You inch back a little more, making sure you don't knock anything over. Is it something dangerous after all? You see sparks again as he touches the object. Ha! Just as I thought. What? What is it? What is it? It's just an area rug I rolled up and put in the corner. It didn't match the general decor of the lab. Nothing to worry about. I see. All that over a rug? Okay. Well, I know what that rug is. I'm still losing my mind over this layout. What the fuck? Talk Stanford. A small breeze crosses your face. Say, Stanford. Yes? Do you feel that? Feel what? It feels like there's a draft, like all the air is headed to the north part of this room. I can't say I know what you're talking about. Guess he is wearing a coat after all. Can't feel it on his face. You're sure the only ways out of here are west and south? I'm fairly certain that there is not a room north of here. I'm gonna go north. Ignoring Stanford's certainties, you head north anyway. To both your surprise, there is in fact a room here. That's odd. I don't remember this room being here. So north would be down from 12. I thought you said you knew the layout of your lab. I do. I've spent so many days down here that I've attained a near photographic memory of this place. Could this have been an anomaly's doing? Fuck. Posit your own theory. Maybe the room we're in is an anomaly. The anomaly. It very well could be, although if that's true, we're in for a lot of trouble. Based on past experiences, it would mean we've either encountered an anomaly that can alter space, or we've accidentally wandered into a large anomaly's mouth. Which of those is the less dangerous situation? I'd rather take my chances with the mouth, but I believe neither are the case here. Do be on the lookout for anything that feels like a giant tongue, though, or perhaps a uvula. Maybe you can look for those things and tell me if you find anything. You feel around in the dark cautiously. Your hand brushes against something on the floor. You feel like you shift the objects around in your hand a couple of times. Little firecrackers? Were you celebrating the 4th of July down here or something? I was so caught up in my research, I'm not sure I even acknowledged that the 4th of July happened this year. Come to think of it, I'm not sure I've even acknowledged that July happened this year. Well, maybe we should set these off later as a belated July celebration. Sure, why not? You obtained firecrackers. Seems there's nothing else of interest here. Go south. Venture south to the next room. What you do? So that was north, which would be down, which would be, So west, we're in this room now. We're in this room now. Where am I? Oh, fuck. Okay. North is down. South is up. West is this way, which would lead back to fish tank. So, we go south. You venture south to the next room, which is room 1. Room 1? So let's go back to 12. Let's go west. Back in room 10 again, so that's room 10. We go north, and then we go east. South is up. Southeast is room 7, so east. Venture east to the next room. Find yourself in the 8th room of Stanford's lab. I'd be careful fiddling around in this room if I were you. Why? Is there something here that could bite my fingers off? No, this is just a room where I keep my hands centrifuge. Smaller anomalies are always breaking in here to play on it. It would be cute if it weren't for the fact that whoever is spinning it always makes it their goal to make the others barf. Ugh. Ugh is right. Magical barf is so much harder to clean than regular barf too. What is it, made of glitter or something? You've hit the nail on the head. It also tends to be rainbow coloured, creating every colour stain imaginable. Well, it sounds nicer to clean up than regular barf at least. Just because it looks better doesn't mean it smells better. Plus, the stains set in magically fast. But anyway, the only way out of this room is back west. Good luck. What will you do? Feel around. Find anything? You haven't moved? Not yet. I hope there's anything in here that isn't fragile. You quietly kick around with your foot to search the ground. You feel your foot come into contact with something. Ha! Please don't be bath covered. You carefully bend down to pick up Schrodinger's bath object. There is no bath. It appears to be a long metal rod of some sort. You pick up the metal rod. Will this work? You hand Stanford the metal rod. Yes, this should be perfect. Thank you. Stop. Talk, Stanford. So, what kind of anomalies play on the centrifuge? Oh, just your standard small-sized mythical creatures, really. Fairies, sprites, imps. Flimps. What's flimp? I made that one up. I was curious if you were really paying attention. I see. Alright. So now we go west. And then southeast. And then east. And then south. Back in room 4 again. It looks like we've got everything we need. Are you ready to enact our plan? There'll be no return from this point. Are you ready? You betcha! Haha, good one. Oh, betcha. Fuck. I never get puns. Is it the autism? Ha, good one. In the dim light of the room, you see Stanford gather up all your pieces. As expected, he ties the rope around the end of the metal rod. Oh boy, does he seriously think this is going to work? He rotates around the cardboard box in his hands, inspecting it. He pushes on part of it with his thumb. Huh? A pop sound rings out as he shoves his thumb through the cardboard. What did you do that for? It was a little rudimentary, I suppose, but I had to make a hole somehow. Hand me the other end of the rope, will you? He threads the rope through the box and ties the end into a knot. He gives the rope a good tug. Why did he... Is he making a... I don't know, teeth samples give away from fairies. A fishing rod? You sound surprised. I thought we were on the same page. I apologize. It's a little late now, but perhaps I should have asked what you had in mind. No, it's okay. This will probably work better. You're not sure this actually will work better. Will it work? Fishing for it. Of course. Don't tell me you haven't heard of fly fishing. This fucking guy. Oh god, I spill water all over myself. I'm glad I didn't get it on this, my little research book here. Fucking research? What am I? This is not a research book, it's a nerdo book. Yes. You hear that? That's every Journal 3 decodation, apart from like 4. From the substitution ciphers, the author 2 and combined. I guess it's author Bill and combined, but I called it author 2 because he uses both of them. Anyways, whatever, I'm sorry. But yes, it will work. The iPads are strangely susceptible to phishing tactics. Do you remember the nets I bought? Oh, I guess I was thinking of those more as butterfly nets. I suppose in that case, it'd be butterfly fishing. Good joke. A small chuckle. I'm sorry. I jammed myself in the fucking face. Okay. Oh, that's a really bright moon. I'm gonna close my blinds now. It's a very cool moon, but it's also a really bright moon. And I just realised my headphones aren't connected to my computer. So I don't know if I've been missing out on really loud sound effects this whole time. At any rate, what you're going to need to do is wait for the iBat to take the bait, then cast the trap over top her. As long as you cast high enough, it will land correctly. Wait, what I'm going to do? Why am I doing it? She knows my scent. She's not going to come out if I'm too close. I'll have to hide. Huh? iBats can smell? How do they... You hear a rustling noise from the room next to you. Shh, get ready. You can do this. Stanford moves to hide near the south exit of the room. He gives you a thumbs up. Wow! Oh, sorry, I want to look at this. You take a deep breath and attempt to ignore how frazzling the past however many minutes of your life has been. You set down the bait and find a dark corner to hide in. Shh. There it is. The iBat enters from the west and pitters around the room, scanning the area with the light radiating from itself. Both you and Stanford shrink down in an effort to not be seen. The iBat has taken notice of the magazine. She's rubbing herself against it. This is really weird to watch. It's also my chance, quickly. What am I going to do? Cast middle. Stanford said I need to cast high enough, but we are indoors after all. It should be high enough, right? You cast your trap with sufficient arc, but without it being overkill. Like the Goldilocks of fox fishing. Box fishing? What did I say? Fox fishing? The trajectory appears to be perfect. The box is closing in on its target. Ha! Out loud! Don't say things out loud! The iPad... Why is this scary? The iPad turns its focus towards you, viewing you with its light in the process. Ah! The flare of the iPad blinds you and your grip on the trap fails. It lands just short of the iBat, making a loud yet pathetic series of flapping noises. The flybat takes off into the air and flies around in a frenzy, bouncing around the room and knocking over all in its path. Your ears fill with the sounds of it thudding against walls and objects at high speeds. Iris, no! It heads in the direction of Stanford, who swiftly ducks under its flight path. Its flailing wings appear to clip something on its way out. Stanford! You can no longer see anything. Judging by the sound of the crash, something very large and heavy fell over. You run towards the south exit of the room. Your path is completely blocked by something. The sounds of the iBat's frantic crashing turn muffled and grow further in the distance. Stanford, can you hear me? Are you okay? You hear a muffled voice start to call out. Isaac! Isaac, can you hear me? He's okay! I think. Stanford, are you alright? I'm fine. It appears one of my bookshelves fell over. We're not going to be able to move it in any sort of timely manner. But time is of the essence. We can't have Iris causing any further damage down there. What should we do? Head for the entrance. We'll surround her from both sides there. I won't be able to accompany you back, but surely you've been taking a map of my lab in your head, correct? I've been taking it on my thingy-majig. Yes. Excellent. Quickly now. We've no time to waste. You hear the sound of Stanford taking off running. Memory, don't fail me now. You find yourself in the 4th room of Stanford's lab. The south exit of the room has been blocked. What will you do? Let's feel around. You feel a faint draft coming from somewhere. I know Stanford wanted me to hurry, but I just can't shake the feeling that I should search this room. Search room. You feel around for the source of the draft and find yourself at the east wall of the room. The east? There are no exits to the east. Trying to inspect the wall in the darkness, you notice a sliver of dim light peeking through a crack near the door of the floor. You crouch down and poke at this crack with your finger with some force. The area crumbles and more light shines through. This is... You get on your hands and knees and put your eye up to the hole. There appears to be another room on the other side of the wall. In it, you can see a moderately sized cage from which the dim light emanates. Attempt to enter. I hope this wall isn't load-bearing. You put your hands over the fault and give it a push. It crumbles away into a hole just big enough to crawl through. What you do? You find yourself in a completely new room. You try to look around, but are met with darkness. Huh? Where did the light go? Uh-huh. Who goes there? What? I'm saying, who are you? Not big on talking to strangers, huh? I'll go first then. You could call me Carl. Hi. And I'm guessing from all that racket in the other rooms, you must be Stanford's newest experiment. I'm not an experiment. Sure, kid. That's what they all say. I was like you once. You took me in, asked me questions, got to know me. Seemed like a weird guy, but nice enough. Really started to earn my trust. Next thing I know, I'm sitting pretty in this cage. That doesn't sound good. You're telling me. You see this thing? Not exactly room for a toilet in here. Ugh. Take it from me. Don't trust that Stanford. Do you understand? Say, how about this? You help me, I help you. Help me? Help you. Yeah. Listen. The longer you hang out with Stanford, the more danger you become. I don't think you'd be here if you were able to leave. I have never seen any other humans with him in all the time I've been here. My car broke down. He picked me up. Just so happened to show up. Don't you think that's kinda strange? Everything about today's been kind of strange, including you. Did your car break down some sort of weird way? How long have you been here? It's been 5 or so years. 5? How am I supposed to help you? You're gonna help me get out of this cage. What, is there a key or something? Can't answer that directly. One of those cursed sort of deals. Cursed? Did Stanford curse you? Stanford? Yeah, Stanford cursed me. That's right. So, what then? I got a rhyme for you. A rhyme? A rhyme. I need you to get these things for me. Something bold, something chewed, something stolen, something kaboom. Get me those 4 things and leave the rest up to me. What? What does any of that mean? Cursed, remember? Figure it out. Looks like you already have one of the 4 on you. I do? What? Do you want it? No. I can only take it when you got everything. Check in with me every once in a while, if you can sneak away. What do you say? You gonna help me? Maybe not. Think on it. Something tells me you got a while to make your decision. And it wouldn't kill you to gather my items, even if you decide not to help. Can I ask one more question? Where did you get a cigarette? This is a lollipop. I light it on fire sometimes. You look closer at the lollipop. The non-fire end of the lollipop is a strange green-brown colour. What flavour is that even supposed to be? I've been here so long, I don't even know anymore. Don't trust Stanford. And don't tell him we talked. Can I trust Stanford? You venture back to the room where you failed to catch the eye bat. What will you do? Okay. Well, let's check west. The eye bat just came from there. I doubt that would be any point in going that way. What? I want to go west. I want to look west. Go north. You venture north to the next room. Room 6. It's compass directions, north, south, east. Huh? Okay. Room 6. You go... Is that east or south? That's east. East. Attempt to run to the next room. The direction you've chosen causes you to run smack into the wall. Ouch. Not that way, I suppose. Okay. Wait. Is that west then? Hold on. I need to look at... that would be west, okay. You run west, successfully making your way to the next room. Room 7. Northwest. You run northwest, successfully making your way to the next room. Room 9. That is south. You run south, successfully making your way to the next room. Room 10. The only way out is east. Without even giving yourself the chance to run to any walls, you run east to the next room. Room 12. Room 12. You run west? No, south. How do I get them mixed up like that? You run south, successfully making your way to the next room. You enter the room to find Stanford at the opposite side, guarding the other exit. He appears to be locked in a stare down with the eye bat, who's waiting in the middle of the room between you. Isaac, you're here! You've really got it cornered now. Are you ready? Ready? Ready for what? What are we gonna do? Remember when I threw that net at you earlier? Catch! Stanford hucks the fishing net across the room. It spins around in the air as it heads right for you. Without thought, you catch the net in your hands. Follow my lead, and now! Stanford takes off running to the left. What do you do? Run right? You take off running to the right. Stanford, focusing on the IBAT, holds his net out to the right. Oh, I get it! You hold your net out to the left. Together you close in on the IBAT. Between the two of you, it's not sure where to look. Stanford flashes you a nod and a smirk, and... BAM! Wow! Wow! Gotcha! Your two nets crash together, trapping the IBAT in between. Stanford untangles it without much fuss. He places the nets on the floor and holds the IBAT gently with both hands. There, you've had a big night tonight. Why don't we get you back in your cage and you can get some rest? In the light of the IBAT's glow, you notice something you hadn't before. Do you have 6 fingers? Yes. You didn't notice them until just now? No, I guess I just wasn't paying attention. That's cool. I hope you don't mind my saying, but that's really cool. Thank you. I think so too. Stanford flashes a small smile at you. Well, Iris isn't the only one who's had a big night. What do you say we retire to our own cages and get some rest for ourselves? Yeah, I think that sounds like a good idea. You follow Stanford back up the several flights of stairs, walking this time. Stanford's cabin, 1 a.m. He retreats back deeper into the cabin with Iris to put her away. Stanford says something so quiet you almost can't hear it. Good night, Iris. You hear almost hushed sounds of a cage door clicking and his footsteps returning. Thanks for all your help back there. I knew I was sort of imposing on you, but who knows how long that could have taken without your assistance. Probably less time than it took with it. Well, maybe, but who's to say? Also, maybe this is bad to say, but I actually thought it was exciting. Kind of fun. He's so adorable. I love him so much. Your statement catches him off guard. A smile creeps across his face as he regains his composure. Well, I'm hoping that's not the exhaustion talking, but if that's truly the case, then I'm glad. And I would say that I had fun as well. I'm glad to. But you know the saying, all fun must come to an end. Allow me to show you to your room. Stanford leads you through his cabin like a maze, eventually opening a door to a small bedroom. Wow! The condition of the furniture seems to be like new, but it's all covered in dust. Forgive me for all the dust. I hardly ever come in here. He wipes the dust off the bedside table with the sleeve of his coat. Then he turns to the bed and shakes out the covers a bit. Initially, my mother sent me off with all this extra furniture for a spare room so she could visit, but nobody has ever stayed in here to date. He fusses with the lampshade of the lamp on the table. It's fine in here, thank you. If you need me, my room is a bit further down the hallway. The door has some sort of flower detailing on it, unless someone were to decide to come and wallpaper over it. You can't really miss it. Okay, thanks. Well, if that's all then. Stanford turns to leave. Good night, Stanford. He turns back around. You know, Stanford can be a mouthful sometimes. You can feel free to call me Ford. Well, if you want to, that is. Okay. Good night, Ford. Ford smiles at you. Good night, Isaac. Ford turns to leave again, and does. You sit in the bed, your mind racing over the night's events. Ford shouts something from down the hall. By the way, there's a bathroom at the opposite end of the hall. Thanks! You hear the door to his room close. I'm too tired to think about any of what happened today. You soundly conk out. Hi, thank you, Jen. Yippee! Oh, it's so fun. This is all the songs we never heard. Such a cute day. Cute game, even. Your dreams. In your dreams, you hear a gentle beat. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Isaac, are you awake? Wow! Wow! I'm gonna play this full game when it comes out. Fuck, don't look at my... that was the 80s Ford dating sim, day 0 by Jindu's Toric. My voice is fucked. Thanks for watching. Stanford Pine's best, one of my biggest crushes currently. I don't know why. I don't know what this show has done to me. I have a book where I've written shit in a book for this. I've written so much. There's so much writing on paper. Who have I become? I don't know who I am anymore. Like and subscribe. Love Gravity Falls forever. It's real and it will never die. Pray for my vocal cords. Goodbye.